You know what's funny? People pray, they beg, they scream into the silence, hoping someone up there is listening. But tonight, oh, tonight is different. Tonight, the silence is cracking. The air feels heavier, doesn't it? Like something, or someone, is on its way. You cleaned your soul, lit your candles, said your prayers, but deep down, you still wonder, asterisk, will he really come? Asterisk. What if I told you? He's already walking down your street. Footsteps echoing closer with every heartbeat you try to hide. Faith. It's a strange thing, isn't it? People think it's just a quiet little whisper, a soft murmur in their hearts that tells them everything will be okay. But it's not quiet, is it? No, faith is a scream. It's that raw, gnawing need that eats at the edges of your mind when you're staring into the dark and wondering if anyone, anything, is listening. You see, faith isn't polite. It doesn't wait for permission. It barges in like it owns the place, twisting and turning your every thought until the world feels a little less empty. And that's when the game begins, the real fun. When you have faith, you're playing a game no one else can see, a game that only you can feel. And the rules? They're written in whispers and shadows, in the corners of rooms where no one dares to look. You ever notice how people talk about faith, like it's some kind of soft, warm blanket you wrap around yourself to feel safe? Ridiculous. Faith is a mirror, and it's the mirror that shatters every illusion you've held on to, that forces you to look at the raw, jagged pieces of yourself and say, yes, I'm ready. And when you do that, oh, when you finally step into that madness willingly, you open a door. And not just any door. A door that leads to a presence you can't bargain with. A presence that doesn't knock politely. It just walks in, filling every corner, every crevice, every quiet little thought with a weight that's thrilling and terrifying all at once. The funny thing is, most people run from it. They tiptoe around faith like it's some delicate flower they're scared to crush. But faith doesn't tiptoe. Faith is a storm. And if you stand still long enough, if you stand raw enough, it'll catch you, swirl around you, and carry you somewhere you didn't even know you wanted to go. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The way it sneaks in when you least expect it, dragging everything behind it that you thought you understood, everything you thought was real. You can't fake faith. You can try, of course. People do it all the time. They wear their faith like a mask, smile in the right places, nod at the right moments, but it's hollow. You can feel it in the air. The difference between the ones who are pretending and the ones who've burned themselves in the fire of true belief. True faith smells like sweat and chaos, like a secret that's too dangerous to tell, and it hums in your bones, a vibration that shakes the world just enough to remind you that something bigger is moving, something that doesn't wait for your permission. And that's the thing about divine presence. It's not polite, it's not orderly, it doesn't wait for you to line up your little ducks. It comes because faith calls it. Because faith is the invitation, the loud, unrelenting shout in the void. The stronger the faith, the louder the shout, and the harder it is to ignore. People think they can earn it, that they can tip the scales with good behavior or quiet prayers. But faith isn't transactional. It's magnetic. You feel it first, that pull, that sense that something is coming, something that will not just touch you but rearrange you entirely. And the delicious part, the part that makes the whole thing so wickedly fun, is how unpredictable it is. Faith doesn't tell you how it's going to show up. It doesn't promise a neat, tidy little package. No, it shows up in ways that make your head spin, in moments that make your heart pound, in ways that remind you that life is chaotic, messy, and absolutely absurd. You can stand there, staring at the empty streets, the quiet rooms, the dark corners, and you can feel it creeping in. Faith isn't asking you to understand it, isn't asking for your approval. It just comes because you dared to believe, because you dared to stand, because you dared to make yourself a little vulnerable to the impossible. And once that door cracks open, once that first whisper brushes against your mind, the whole game changes. You're not just living anymore. You're dancing on the edge, teetering between what you think you know and what you're about to discover. And every step, every breath, every heartbeat is electric with possibility expectation. It's a dangerous little thing, isn't it? Most people tiptoe around it like it's some polite guest that might overstay its welcome. But expectation is a predator, a deliciously twisted force that gnaws at the edges of your sanity until you can't help but lean in just a little closer, just to see what's coming. You see, when you expect, you're doing more than hoping, more than praying, more than whispering your little wishes into the void. You're screaming into it, laughing at it, daring it to respond. And the universe loves a challenge. It sees you, heart on fire, eyes wide and unblinking, and it thinks, interesting, let's play. People don't realize that expectation isn't passive. They think they can sit quietly, nod along to the prayers, do all the right rituals, and somehow expect the world to tip its hand. But no, expectation is the hand that reaches out first, the hand that drags the unseen closer, pulls it across the threshold into your messy, trembling little life. When you expect, you're opening doors that have been bolted shut for centuries, doors that rattle and groan under the weight of possibilities you can't even begin to imagine. And that is intoxicating. It's funny how most people shy away from it. They're terrified of expecting too much because they've been taught to fear disappointment, to fear the hollow echo when nothing answers back. But expectation isn't about guarantees. It's about daring to look into the dark and laugh, daring to put your hand on that cold, unyielding doorknob and twist it anyway. You feel the tremble? That thrill that shoots straight down your spine? That's life noticing you. Life taking a step toward you. Life whispering in that soft, maddening way that something is about to change. And it's too big, too raw, too wild for you to tame. When you expect, you're not just sitting around waiting for miracles like a timid little mouse. No, you're a conductor in the chaos, a mischievous architect of your own fate. Every heartbeat becomes a signal flare, every breath a call that reaches into corners no one else can touch. Expectation turns your ordinary, cluttered life into a stage for the impossible, a theater where reality shakes its head in disbelief and wonders how you got so bold. And the beauty of it, the beauty is in the tension. That delicious electric tension that makes your hands sweat, that makes your stomach twist, that makes the air itself feel alive because you are expecting. And expectation never goes unnoticed. Most people close their eyes and hope. They whisper timid prayers. They cross their fingers. But you lean into it. You let it curl around your mind like smoke, letting it fill the dark corners, letting it ignite sparks in places you didn't know were waiting. Because when expectation takes root, it doesn't just sit quietly. It moves, it shifts, it rattles the doors of reality until something gives. And it will give in ways you can't predict, in ways that make your knees shake and your teeth chatter and your mind spin like a carnival ride you can't get off of. And here's the real kicker, the twist that makes it all deliciously dangerous. Expectation feeds on audacity. The bolder you are, the louder your heart beats, the wider your eyes open, the more unhinged your belief in what could come, the more the world leans in, curious, intrigued, almost amused by your temerity. The universe doesn't reward timid little pokes and polite requests. It rewards the ones who dare to expect, who dare to laugh in the face of emptiness, who dare to say, I know something's coming, and I'm ready for it, whether you like it or not. And when that door finally creaks open, when that first shadow of what you've been daring to expect brushes against your life, the rush, oh, the rush is intoxicating. It's a dizzying, chaotic, overwhelming flood that throws you off balance and makes you feel alive in ways you've only dreamed of in those quiet, lonely moments when you thought no one was listening. Expectation doesn't just invite miracles. It drags them in, kicking and screaming into your messy, trembling, little reality. And there's nothing polite about it. It's raw, it's real, it's wild, and it's utterly addictive. Silence. It's a tricky little thing, isn't it? People think it's empty, a pause, a waiting room where nothing happens. But silence is the loudest sound you'll ever hear if you're brave enough to listen. It hums beneath your skin, curls around your thoughts, wraps your heart in a tight little cage and shakes it until every hidden corner of yourself trembles. Silence before miracles isn't absence, it's preparation. It's the quiet hum before the storm, the soft, sinister lull that lets you feel every inch of anticipation crawling through your veins like electricity. You see, the world has a way of drowning out the magic, of shoving noise and chaos and distraction into your ears until you forget that something extraordinary is possible. But silence cuts through it all. It's sharp, it's precise, it waits. Most people fear it. They fill it with chatter, with movement, with meaningless busyness, because silence stares back. And when it stares back, it sees everything. It sees the lies you tell yourself, the cracks in your courage, the corners of your soul you thought were safely hidden. But that's exactly why silence is sacred. It's the testing ground. It's the crucible where faith, expectation, and desire are heated and twisted until they're strong enough to call something greater into existence. And the funny thing is, you don't even realize you're standing in it. You think you're just sitting, just waiting, just breathing. But every second in that quiet builds pressure. Every heartbeat in that stillness adds weight. And suddenly, the air itself begins to tremble. Miracles don't like noise. They don't respond to frantic pleading or impatient tapping. They come when you stop yelling at the world, when you stop demanding and begging, when you finally stop trying to control the chaos. Silence is the invitation, the empty stage, the open hand that says, I'm ready. And oh, the irony is delicious. People are terrified of waiting, terrified of stillness, terrified of nothingness. But that's exactly where everything begins. That's where the unseen starts to stretch, to lean into your reality, to peek through the cracks you didn't know existed. You can feel it if you pay attention. That tiny, unsettling pressure, that hum beneath your ribs that says, something is coming, and it's bigger than you thought. Silence amplifies it. It doesn't hide it. It makes every pulse, every breath, every twitch of your nerves a signal flare that reaches into corners of existence most people never visit. And when you finally accept the quiet, when you let it fill you instead of resisting, you start to notice patterns. You start to hear whispers. You start to feel touches of possibility that weren't there before. Or maybe they were. You just couldn't hear them over the screaming of the world. It's hilarious, really. How people rush, how they chatter, how they fill every moment with noise and nonsense because they're afraid. Afraid of being still, afraid of being seen, afraid of feeling the raw, unfiltered pull of something greater brushing against their lives. But miracles, they need that sacred pause. They need the hush, the trembling expectation that comes from silence, the delicious tension that hums like a live wire under your skin. Without it, they're just potential, just a shadow waiting to be noticed. With it, they erupt into existence, jagged, chaotic, beautiful, unstoppable. And here's the twist, the part most people miss. Silence isn't empty because it's quiet. It's empty because it's hungry. It wants attention. It wants your awareness. It wants your surrender. You can't force it, can't manipulate it, can't bribe it with good intentions or polite prayers. You have to step into it willingly, to let it seep into your bones, to let it shake you down to the marrow and leave you trembling and exposed and perfectly ready. And the best part? Once you do, once you let the hush take hold, every nerve, every thought, every pulse is amplified. Every hope feels sharper. Every fear feels bigger. Every heartbeat feels like it's about to summon something that has been waiting silently just for you. Most people flee from it. They run. They talk. They fill the air with meaningless noise because the quiet is too intimate, too dangerous, too real. But for those who linger, who dare to wait, who let the silence crawl over them and settle into every corner of their mind, oh, the world shifts. The air changes. The shadows lean closer. The impossible begins to stretch its fingers into the edges of your life, and you feel it, the tremor, the brush of what could be, the prelude to something utterly unstoppable, and it hums in your bones. Preparation, it's funny how people think it's all neat little checklists, clean lines, and polite organization. Preparation isn't tidy. It's messy. It's the careful stacking of chaos into something that looks like order, the way you sharpen your edges until they can cut through the ordinary and invite the extraordinary to step through your door. People don't realize it, but the universe doesn't just wander in casually. Oh no, it strolls by, sneers at the clutter, and only knocks when it senses you're ready, truly ready, for the madness of miracles to collide with your life. That's what preparation does. It's the subtle whisper that says, I'm not afraid of you. Come closer. I dare you. Most people hate preparation because it's hard. It's uncomfortable. It demands that you confront the chaos inside yourself, the corners of your mind you hide from, the dark little impulses you deny. But that's exactly the point. Preparation is the act of taming the storm inside long enough to handle the storm outside. It's sweat and tension and effort, the kind that makes your bones ache and your heart pound and your mind question why in the world you're bothering at all. But you keep going, because somewhere in that deliberate madness, you know that if you do it right, if you push yourself far enough, if you carve the space carefully and thoroughly enough, something is going to appear. Something that doesn't knock politely. Something that doesn't wait for introductions. Something that is drawn irresistibly to the scent of readiness. People want miracles handed to them, don't they? They want sudden, chaotic bursts of brilliance to land neatly in their laps. But it doesn't work like that. Miracles aren't polite. They don't land where chaos reigns. They come to the places where the cracks are sealed, where the floors are swept, where the soul has been sharpened and tempered by effort and anticipation. Preparation is like bait for the invisible, a signal flare that says, "I've done my work. I'm waiting. Come find me." And the delicious, wicked part of it is that the universe notices. It always notices the ones who put themselves through the quiet, the work, the relentless shaping of their own lives. You see, preparation isn't just about cleaning your room or organizing your desk or memorizing lines or rehearsing routines. That's the surface. The deep, seductive part of preparation is the inner work, the sharpening of the mind, the alignment of the heart, the readiness to face the unpredictable, the dangerous, the miraculous, without flinching. It's confronting every fear, every doubt, every hesitation, and daring them to step aside while you stand naked in your intent, perfectly poised for the arrival of the impossible. And oh, the timing is exquisite. The universe doesn't rush, it doesn't bargain, it doesn't announce its presence in advance. It waits, like a predator, like a trickster, watching to see who is ready, who has the nerve to hold themselves upright, who can stare into the void and not blink. Every action you take, every effort you make, every drop of sweat you pour into preparation becomes a signal, a subtle vibration that runs through the air and reaches the corners no one else dares to enter, corners where the extraordinary lingers, pacing, waiting for someone brave enough to answer the call. It's intoxicating, really, the way preparation changes everything. Ordinary people become magnets for the extraordinary. They stumble into opportunities that feel preordained. They meet forces that seem like coincidence until they realize nothing is coincidence. The universe doesn't just notice the prepared, it can't resist them. It leans in, brushes against them, shakes them awake, and throws them into the dance of chaos and blessing that most people spend their lives running from. And the beauty, the delicious, dark beauty of it, is that preparation is a private affair. No one sees the long nights, the rehearsals in the mirror, the careful tending of thoughts, the silent sharpening of the spirit. It's lonely, yes, painfully lonely, but it's also sacred. It's in that solitude that the seeds of visitation are planted, watered, and ready to burst through the walls of your life at just the right moment. Every note, every practice, every careful step you take builds a resonance, a frequency, a vibration that the unseen simply cannot ignore, because it recognizes itself in you, and when it finds you, when it finally crosses the threshold, it's unstoppable, overwhelming, intoxicating, and utterly transformative gratitude. Such a small word, isn't it? Tiny, polite, almost insignificant when people toss it around, smiling and nodding like it's just another social convention. But true gratitude, true gratitude is sharp. It cuts through the nonsense, through the chaos, through the layers of fear and doubt and uncertainty, and plants you firmly in a place no one else can reach. People think blessings are about luck, about chance, about being in the right place at the right time. But the truth is far more delicious, far more wicked. Blessings need an anchor, a tether to hold them close. And that tether is gratitude. Most people resist it. They think they're waiting for the perfect moment to feel thankful, for the flawless day, for everything to line up neatly before they bow their heads and whisper, "Thank you." Ridiculous. Gratitude doesn't work like that. It doesn't wait for perfection. It thrives in the cracks, in the chaos, in the raw, jagged, messy parts of your life that make you want to scream. That's where it grows strongest. That's where it wraps itself around your bones and refuses to let go, dragging blessings along with it whether you're ready or not. When you are truly grateful, even for the smallest, most insignificant things, you start to shift. Oh, subtly at first, like a shadow creeping across a wall, unnoticed, unremarked upon, but slowly, inexorably, your perspective changes. You start seeing patterns, seeing threads of possibility you couldn't notice before because your mind was too busy whining, too busy hoping, too busy trembling. Gratitude tunes your senses to a frequency the ordinary cannot touch, a frequency that hums and pulses, a vibration that the universe recognizes immediately and cannot resist. And once it notices, it begins to respond, bringing gifts you weren't expecting, coincidences that feel like orchestration, opportunities that feel preordained but are simply the natural response to your anchored energy. It's intoxicating, isn't it, the way gratitude turns your life inside out. One moment you're stumbling through the shadows, teeth gritted, nerves raw, heart pounding from all the chaos, and the next moment, something shifts. You feel lighter, sharper, more alive. Because the act of acknowledging, of truly feeling the weight and beauty of even the smallest blessing, becomes a lever. It pulls the unseen closer, bends chance around your fingers, and opens doors that had been locked in silence. You can almost hear the universe laughing, amused by your audacity, delighted by your awareness, and it leans in, brushing against your life with a force that is subtle but undeniable, chaotic but exquisitely precise. And the wicked part, gratitude doesn't just attract more blessings, it transforms them. A simple gift, a whisper of good fortune, a fleeting moment of luck becomes something enormous, something impossible, something you can feel vibrating in your chest like a pulse of pure energy. It's as if the universe leans closer and says, "Ah, you see me. You see what I'm doing. You understand." And when you understand, oh, the effect is exponential. The more you anchor yourself in gratitude, the more the blessings pile up, because nothing likes to be ignored. Nothing likes to be unseen. And gratitude is like a beacon that refuses to be missed. Most people treat life like a checklist, like a ledger to balance, like a problem to solve. But gratitude, gratitude flips it all on its head. It makes life a game of notice and response, a dance of awareness and surrender, a chaotic, beautiful interplay between what is and what could be. It makes you alive in a way that fear, anger, ambition, even love cannot. Because gratitude anchors you in the moment while pulling the infinite toward you, creating a tension that hums with potential, a vibration that shakes the world in subtle, delightful ways. And here's the real joke, the part most people never get. Gratitude doesn't ask for recognition. It doesn't demand applause. It doesn't care if anyone else sees it, because it knows the effect is already happening. Every whisper of thanks, every quiet acknowledgement of what you have, every fleeting pulse of appreciation pulls something unseen closer. It prepares the stage, clears the way, sharpens the edges, and when you least expect it, the blessings arrive, cascading into your life with the inevitability of a storm that has been building quietly, secretly, waiting for the anchor to hold firm, waiting for you to stop trembling and start noticing, because once you do, once you do, the world has no choice but to respond, to bend, to deliver, to lean into your gratitude with the force of everything it has been holding back. Fear, oh, fear is a marvelous little trick, isn't it? It sneaks into the shadows, curls around your heart, whispers sweet little lies, convinces you that everything you cannot see is out to get you, that the world is a cage, that you are small, that you are weak. People run from it, scream at it, try to drown it in distraction, in noise, in endless little tasks that keep them busy enough to forget that it's there, lurking, patient, hungry. But fear isn't the enemy. Not really. No, it's a spotlight, a test, a barometer for how badly you want what you say you want. And the moment faith steps forward, fear begins to tremble. The moment faith takes charge, it realizes it is not in control anymore. And oh, how deliciously chaotic that is. You see, most people think faith is quiet. They think it's soft, polite, like a whisper or a gentle push, some kind of nice little thing that makes you feel warm inside while life goes on unchanged. Ha! Faith is a weapon. Faith is fire. Faith is the kind of chaos that sweeps away the nonsense, the hesitation, the trembling little doubts that fear clings to like a parasite. When faith takes hold, fear loses its grip, because faith doesn't negotiate, it doesn't compromise, it doesn't back down. Faith laughs at the shadows that used to terrify you, and suddenly those shadows shrink, twitch, and fade like a bad hallucination after the lights turn on. Think about it. Fear is loud, obnoxious, convincing. It tells you you're not ready, that you're too small, that you're doomed, that the world is a cruel joke with you as the punchline. And it can be very persuasive if you let it speak alone. But faith speaks in a way that shakes the very air around it. It doesn't whisper, it doesn't beg, it asserts, it claims. It says, I am here. I will move mountains, bend the invisible, call forth the impossible, and fear realizes it is powerless against that. Fear can't touch what believes without hesitation, can't harm what has declared itself untouchable in the quiet, unrelenting fire of faith. The beauty is in the collision, the delicious tension between them. Fear thrashes and protests, trying to hold on, trying to convince you that you're still weak, still small, still trapped. But faith is relentless. It doesn't care about the theatrics, the whining, the little protests. Faith steps over, around, through, bending the rules, bending reality, bending you in ways that terrify you because they are so alive, so chaotic, so utterly beyond comprehension. And as faith grows, as it takes root, as it pumps through your veins like liquid fire, fear becomes a joke, a shadow of what it once was, a timid little echo in a canyon that has been filled with light and motion and power. Most people never experience this because they never let faith take the wheel. They clutch it timidly, feed it polite words and hollow rituals, expecting it to perform miracles like a trained animal, neatly and on command. But real faith, real faith laughs at the script. Real faith tears up the pages, tosses them into the wind, and writes its own rules in the chaos of your heart. And the moment you allow it to lead, fear has no choice but to retreat, to shrink, to curl into corners it can no longer inhabit. And you feel it, the release, the pulse of freedom, the exhilarating terror of stepping into a world where nothing is certain, but everything is possible. And here's the delicious part that people rarely notice. The absence of fear doesn't make life safe. Life is never safe, but it makes life yours. Every risk becomes a thrill, every unknown a playground, every shadow an invitation instead of a trap. Fear fades not because the world has changed, but because you have. Because faith has sharpened your senses, aligned your heart, tuned your mind to a frequency that fear cannot penetrate. It hovers at the edges, still whispering, still twitching, but it no longer dictates your steps. You are dancing on the edge of chaos, laughing in its face, and every heartbeat echoes with the knowledge that faith, unyielding, relentless, untouchable, guides you through the madness. And the final irony, the delicious, wicked truth, fear isn't gone. It never fully disappears. It lurks, it teases, it reminds you of its existence to keep you sharp. But you don't flinch. You don't bow. You don't crumble. Because faith has taken charge, has claimed the stage. And you are no longer a puppet to shadows. You are alive, electric, chaotic, unstoppable, and every step you take is proof that the world bends, not to fear, but to the audacity of a heart that refuses to yield, a mind that refuses to doubt, and a soul that refuses to shrink. And the shadows, oh, the shadows, they shiver, they curl, they fade. Because faith has whispered the secret no one dares speak aloud. And fear finally understands that it is the apprentice, not the master,